Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lori and I make videos about style, colors, thrifting and my life in Taiwan. But sometimes about other topics as well. Today I was going to film a video about items that I've had in my closet for over 20 years. But something has come up and I was worried that me being under the weather, me feeling under the weather was going to show in the video. So I felt it was very important to address it, not only because of that, but also because I think we can all learn from this. So this morning I was preparing a video and I've heard from a longtime friend of mine who was as dear and as close as a sister. We grew up together, we both had family issues. I won't go into it too much because it's a lot of personal things that of course I'm not going to disclose. But today she had a slip. We were talking about something and out of nowhere she just slipped that her life isn't as perfect as I thought it was. The thing is, she's never talked about her life in depth, and I never pressured for details. I'm the kind of person who never steps into someone's life forcefully, but who waits for other people to open up to them by always being there by their side and trying to help whenever I can. So I never pushed for any details or for her to share anything private with me. She's been with her partner for over 14 years and they have 2 kids together. One daughter being 1 year and a half old, the other one 6 years old. The thing is, when we talked today, she just mentioned out of the blue that she doesn't have a smile on her face, even though her husband's life is perfect. This hurt because I always thought she had a good life, she had a happy marriage and a great family life. And I've always wanted the best for her because, like I said, we grew up together, we were close to each other. She's a great person. She's, besides being extremely beautiful, extremely smart, extremely gorgeous, she's also the kind of person who would give her heart out to you if she could. She's very blunt and very rough at times, but she means well. Romanian people generally tend to be kind of direct and not really take into consideration your feelings when telling you things straight to your face. So she's a great person. I told her I was going to listen to her if she wants to open up. I told her I'm by her side with my heart, with my all, and also with something practical. If there's anything I can do to help, of course I'm going to do it. And what she told me was at first seemed like an open relationship, like she and her husband, boyfriend, because they never got married legally. It seemed that her and her boyfriend were having an open relationship and seeing other people. But then she told me things that shocked me, meaning her boyfriend was the only one getting all the action. She wasn't allowed to do more than kisses and touches whenever they met someone. So they did some kind of swingers. They did some kind of swingers meetings. but 2-on-2, not the 4 of them together. And they had an arrangement. None of them was going to go all the way. They were going to stop at kisses, caresses, hugs. But one day, as she was being involved kissing with another man, her boyfriend was lying on the other bed with that man's partner, female partner, and penetration happened. That's what she said. She said I'm not sure if I can say this word on YouTube, but he went all the way with this girl, breaking the arrangement, not asking for her permission, not caring that she was there right by his side, basically lying on the other bed. Not caring she was doing this only for him. This is also what I found out, that this was all his idea. I asked if he had a very huge appetite, and she said yes, but that's normal with men. And I said yes, but most men take their partner's feelings into consideration. So anyway, she told me he was the one who had the idea. He was the one who initiated the conversations with these strangers and setting up meetings with these strangers. She just went along to make him happy, because he was always saying things such as, "You're not putting out anymore, we don't have time for ourselves anymore, you don't wear lingerie for me, you don't do things that make me feel good," if you know what I mean. How could she? She had 2 kids for him, kids that he never wanted. But anyway, they don't watch my channel. They have no idea this channel exists. I can talk about it because I think it's very important. I think the message I'm about to send is very important. So basically, I found out he was manipulating her into accepting an agreement she never felt okay with. He was using against her the fact that she had just had kids, that she wasn't in shape, and he was also planning her schedule, forcing her to go to the gym at 5 a.m. in the morning, because she kept saying, "Well, when would I go to the gym? I have to take care of the kids, and I'm running our business at the same time." So basically, this is what they do. They have a business where he works 8 hours of the day, but she does everything else. She's the secretary there, the accountant, she does public relations, she does management, marketing. All he does is his job, which is a physical labor that I'm not going to get into. And then after they finish work, she has to pick up the older kid from daycare, and she also has to take care of her other newly born and breastfeed while she's also working. All he does is work those 8 hours a day and then go to the gym and apparently criticize her for not having time for him the way they used to. Even though this is not exactly true, because when they started dating, as soon as they started dating, 1 year and something into the relationship, he already proposed this to her when they didn't have other responsibilities, when she was giving all her attention to him. He still had complaints. So obviously it's not about the intimate part of their relationship, it's about something else. Then I asked her if he takes into account usually her opinions and her wants in making decisions. He doesn't, which is something I had intuitively known by now. And then she told me something that happened last night. So lately he's been pressuring her to have another arrangement. He had met a couple behind her back that was into these kind of things, and he was pressuring her to so he changed the script on her. Before, it was both of them meeting with two people and doing certain activities with those two people separately. And now he wanted something else. Now he wanted them to meet those people without the other one being present, which is something she didn't feel comfortable with. So he wanted her, because he said she has to stay with the kids all the time, he wanted her to stay home with the kids while he goes out and meets the other couple and has his way with a female partner. And then he wanted her to do the same as he babysitted the kids at home. She didn't agree with this, but apparently there was no time for discussing it because he had already made the decision. He had already booked a restaurant and planned a meeting with those two people. It was supposed to happen on Wednesday. They canceled, and yesterday, out of the blue, they said they're ready. They're free for yesterday night dinner. And he just stormed out of the door happily, letting her know that, the arrangement is back on. She tried expressing her feelings, but he said this is because of her. This is because she doesn't have time for him anymore, and his needs are not met. So there's nothing she can have against him. And he just stormed out of the door. He came back at 2 a.m. with a big smile on his face, while she was home alone in distress with the kids. A woman who had been through natural births, who is breastfeeding, who is taking care of his kids, running his business and running other things in his private life and keeping everyone happy, doing all the chores, being this perfect wife and perfect mother to his kids, and being a great person, which is something I know for sure. I've met her since we were 14. And she lived in my house for a while anyway. She talked to me about it this morning because she felt she has no one to confide in. People are judgmental. And she really needed to free her mind and to talk to someone. So yeah, that's why I'm not dressed happily today. No happy outfit, because style is a part of who we are. And right now, like I said, I'm feeling under the weather. I asked her if she felt this was cheating, that what they're doing was cheating, especially because she wasn't allowed to have anything more with these men, but her partner was allowed to do whatever he wanted. She said, I took it as a play. She said, honestly, I can't remember how I first reacted. I just took it as a game. I thought that as long as everything was out in the open and we're not hiding anything from each other, it was okay. Yesterday night, since yesterday, we've been in vacation time. We've been in holiday. He told me it's his last chance to do this and I have to conform. And it's my fault because I cannot please him anymore. And he can't take it anymore. He says I don't have time for him. I don't book meetings for him like I used to. I said I've never heard of a recent father with these kind of problems. Did he wanted the kids? He said the first one, no. He did it because it was expected of him. He wanted the second one. He doesn't take care of the kids. Sometimes he takes the big one on Sundays to the skating rink, but only because he likes skating. The little one, sometimes he spends time with her. Did you agree with this kind? I said, did you agree with this kind of relationship, or did you try to tell him what's bothering you? But he never took it into account, like last night. She said, I never agreed, but I didn't have a choice. I said, do you depend on him financially? Not at all. But now we are going through a transformation in terms of our business, which is going to unite us for life. I told her kids also unite two people for life. Kids also bond people together, and there are many other things that can tie you up to someone, but you don't have to see things like that. We're supposed to go in, she said, we're supposed to go in vacation. I'm very sad. I don't know what to do, how to react. I said, it's okay, don't fake it. You have no reason to fake it, especially since he doesn't care about how you feel. You don't have to react, you can just wait, put your thoughts together, think about it. Just act calm, no drama. Take time to process what happened, but also don't pretend everything is pink. Last night he told me, she said, last night he told me, if we stop meeting other people, I can say goodbye to our relationship. I told him I already said goodbye to it. And I said, this seems like a breakup, so you're still going in vacation together. She said, we're going in vacation to some acquaintances. I feel embarrassed to cancel. I said, you're supposed to feel embarrassed. Anyway, then we had a conversation about if she should go or not. She said she's not allowed to make decisions without him. He never lets her stay at home without him. He never goes anywhere without. He always has to keep his eyes on her. He always has to know where she is, what she's doing. She's not allowed to go out of the house without him. She's not allowed to meet friends outside the house without him. And I said a Romanian expression, the thief always calls out another thief. Those who cheat are always paranoid that they are being cheated on. She said yes. I said, you don't have to do what he wants to. You can do whatever you want to. Or is he threatening you? She said, I'm not sure if he cheated on me. I think he hasn't. Of course he cheated. He said once we had a heated argument, he threatened he was going to take the kids away from me and break up with me. I said the most important thing to do is document everything, keep a diary of everything that's happening, and collect evidence. That way he will never be able to take the kids away from you. In court, the journal and evidence will get you the custody of your kids. You can hide them inside of your child's. You can hide these evidence and a recording device inside of your kids' toys anyway. Sewing them up and other tricks. I asked, does he offend you? She said, no, he would never dare to do that. I would never allow that. I said, if you don't allow certain things, how come others you do allow from him? I said, don't tell me that you're not meeting his needs. Any normal man would understand that a recent mother cannot perform the way a single woman performs. A normal man understands that and doesn't ask for more from his partner. But you are the one who has to understand this, that you are fulfilling your matrimonial obligations to him. She says, I know it hurts that he doesn't understand. He only thinks about him. I said, you know what? I don't think he's going to take the kids away from you. He doesn't want that kind of responsibility. You told me he never takes care of them. But he wants you to believe so that you wouldn't leave. Everything is on his mind except for his family. Of course, she also told me that he goes to the gym a lot. He cares about his body. He has a lot of hobbies. Very interesting, right? A newly father with another grown-up kid, with a kid who's 6 years old. He has a lot of time for hobbies, right? Then she tells me he keeps reminding her he was diagnosed when he was 17 with something called TDAH, which I looked up and it's some kind of deficit of attention, hyperactive disorder. And I said, wow, that's so serious. Imagine there are people diagnosed with life-threatening conditions, with heart disease, with cancers, and he's making a big fuss of the fact that he has some attention disorder, which in certain cases can be serious, but not in his case. In certain cases it can impair your movement and affect your brain, but I assume it's not his case because he seems to be doing very well. He seems to be very agile at work, and he seems to have the stamina of a horse outside of his family life. So I asked her again, I don't understand, why are you still in this relationship? Of course, I already know the reasons why. I already know the way she thinks. I know her family history. I know the fact that she's a people pleaser, and she grew up with two parents who didn't love her. After her mother divorced her father and moved to another country, to the neighboring country, she only saw her once every few years, with her father, an abusive alcoholic, being the one who raised her and her brother. Yeah, let's call it that. So, because of the fact that her mother abandoned her when she was young and she only got breadcrumbs of love from her mother every now and then, I think she started believing that this is normal. She started believing you should just be happy with the little attention and love you get and not ask for more. And because of the fact that her father never cared about her, she was brainwired to do anything to get a man's attention and a man's love. I think she subconsciously thinks she has to put up with everything just to keep his love and make him happy and make it so that he doesn't leave her. Yeah, this is what bad parents can do to you. And the worst part is now she's doing it to her kids. She said the reason why she doesn't want to break up with him is her kids. She doesn't want her daughters to suffer. I told her, what do you think is going to happen when they grow up and they start observing everything in their relationship? Because kids are very smart. And I've always heard these comments coming from therapists saying that kids who are grown up, they always tell their mother who stayed in an abusive or toxic relationship, why didn't you leave? It would have been better for me if you had left altogether than growing up like that and seeing the things that I've seen. I let her thinking about this. I told her to think about this seriously and think about if she wants to pass on this legacy to her kids. If she wants her daughters to grow up with this role model in their life. And most importantly, does she want her daughters to choose the same partner that she chose? Because we all know that's what eventually happens, right? You grow up in a dysfunctional relationship and you make the same choices just because they feel familiar to you, even if they're the wrong choices and you're not happy. And then you have kids with this person and you perpetuate the cycle of suffering. I told her to look up narcissism, narcissistic personality disorder. And I told her not to react right now. Not to pretend everything is okay, but also not to make any decisions. Just take it easy. So this is why I wanted to make this video today. I think it's very important to talk about the narcissistic personality disorder, about what it is, how to recognize it, and how to free yourself from these kind of people. Because these kind of people, they're not harmless, they're not innocent. Everyone has their ups and downs in their marriage or in their relationship, but that doesn't usually involve manipulation, lack of empathy, gaslight, and other damaging behaviors. So let's talk about the signs of a narcissist. Lack of empathy, superficially charming, has a God complex, requires constant and excessive admiration, possesses a high sense of self-importance, feels that he deserves privileges and special treatment, has fantasies of greatness, expects to be recognized as superior even without achievements, makes his achievements and talents seem bigger than they are, is preoccupied with fantasies of success, power, brilliance, beauty, or with finding the perfect mate, believes that they are superior to others and they can only spend time with people who are equally as special as they are. They tend to be very critical and look down on people if they feel those people are not important. They expect special favors. They expect others to do what they want without questioning them. They take advantage of others to get what they want. Manipulation. They have an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others. They are envious of others and believe others are envious of them. Arrogant attitude. They brag a lot. They come across as conceited. They insist on having the best of everything, the best car, house, spouse, etc. They become impatient or angry when they don't receive special recognition or treatment. They react with rage or contempt and try to belittle others to make themselves appear superior. They have difficulty in managing their emotions and behaviors. They have secret feelings of insecurity, shame, humiliation, and fear of being exposed as a failure. Another important characteristic is gaslighting. Many times they're going to make you feel like you're insane, like you're going crazy, like something that happened never happened. Of course, something that's in their favor. Like, for example, I'm going to share something personal. This is something that my father used to do a lot. Once I caught him fooling around with another woman when I was a kid. I told my mother about it, and he said I was lying, and he gave me a good beating for that, and he told me to never lie again in my life. Despite the fact that everyone around him saw him doing these kind of things, and he still insisted that everyone was lying and it was all in our heads. So a person who tells you that what you heard or what you've seen has never happened is a narcissist. Narcissism is a dangerous personality disorder. It falls on a spectrum with varying degrees. Of course, we can all score a few points now and there, such as insisting on having the best of everything, the best car, house, mate, clothes, etc. We all want to eat good, feel good, look good, dress well, have a nice house, a nice car. We all want the finer things in life. That doesn't make you a narcissist. The fact that you want to do better and you want to maybe upgrade your lifestyle or want what's best for your kids doesn't make you a narcissist. What makes you a narcissist is checking more than five of the points that I just listed out. Narcissism ranges from mild cases to more serious cases that fall into psychopathy. In the more mild cases, you get extorted of money, or you live in a loveless marriage, manipulated and cheated on, and feeling hopeless, feeling there's nothing you can do to break the cycle. because these people, they know how to choose their victims. They know how to choose people with a lot of empathy, people who they can manipulate so that they can always play the victim card. In the more serious cases, if you're wondering what can happen in the more serious cases, do ask Diane Luna from Lundi Forest, Diane Luna's YouTube channel, who was attacked with acid and had her house being set on fire by her ex-boyfriend, the father of her child. So this is why I wanted to talk about this topic on a channel about style. Because I think we all deserve to be happy. We all have to make a conscious choice to be happy. And we have to understand that our decisions affect our lives, and more than just our lives, the lives of our children. So please be careful when you meet someone. Look for red flags and never ignore a red flag. Please be careful about who you let into your life and who you have kids with. I cannot stress this enough. Be careful who you have kids with, because it's an irreversible decision. Anyway, you guys can tell me if I was right or wrong for making this video. For now, it's going to stay on, and I'm still going to make my other videos. And I hope everyone can learn from this. Usually I'm a very professional person. I don't bring my personal life into my professional life. But this is my channel, and I want to be who I am here. I don't want to fake it. And I want to talk about topics that are very important and that impact lives. So I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be myself fully, in terms of how I dress, in terms of my opinions, and in terms of what I talk about on my channel. If you stayed so far, thank you. I want to encourage you to please be well documented about this, because these people are more common than we think they are, and nobody's going to protect us. Let's face it, we have to protect ourselves. I hope this video has been helpful. I'm going to link the book, I'm going to link some resources. And yeah, no happy video for today, because life is also comprised of sad moments. Moments in which we have to feel our pain and we have to learn from it and become stronger and remind ourselves that we have the responsibility to help others, and we have to do it. I'm going to leave you with, have a great day, warm hugs from Taipei. Much appreciation. Please take care of yourself and take care of the people in your life.